It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin'Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obi-Uchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. It's been a very, very busy week politically here in Nigeria. A lot is happening. The topic of zoning is still big in the political landscape. Several meetings and caucuses and just, I don't know, so many things are happening. But it still looks like we don't have a headway yet as to what the parties, especially the two major political parties, will be doing with regards to how they zone the presidency of the country. A lot of talk has come out of the Southwest APC leaders meeting. We're still waiting to see what will come out of that. Of course, the PDP is still going through its own battles internally, but we're counting down seriously to the primaries of the political parties as the deadline of the Independent National Electoral Commission draws close. Very, very interesting and tense times, maybe, for a lot of them to see how things turn out, especially with the number of aspirants we have across board. But on the flip side, of course, are the citizens who are going to be voting, and a lot of people are wondering, you know, how much they are going to need to do with regards to, you know, making sure that this process works. There's a lot of questions still left unanswered by a lot of people with INEC with regards to voters, with the PVCs, and, you know, just how things are going to work out. And I'm joined now by someone who hopefully can give us a lot of the answers to our questions. Is the INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for Lagos State, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
You're very welcome. The PVC conversation is almost never ending. And I just wanted to find out from you where, with regards to, there's a lot of rumors, let me put it that way, because we've heard allegedly from certain candidates saying that old PVCs are invalid and people will need to re-register again. And it keeps coming back. And people are wondering, where is that notion coming from? What is the situation with people like me, for example, who voted in the last election, still have my PVC, and I haven't moved polling booths? What do I need to do? Am I re-registering? Am I verifying? What's the process for those? Let's start with those who already have their PVCs. Is it invalid at this point?
The Commission has come out on several times to indicate that there is nothing like invalid in INEC's PVCs. Just like you said, I also have my old PVC, which I used in 2011, and which is still very much valid. So we believe most sincerely that we don't know where the noise is coming from, but we have already repeatedly said it, that our old PVCs issued are very, very valid for this coming election and even for future elections. Okay. Until the Commission comes out with a new development, the old PVCs are very, very valid.
Thanks for clarifying that. So now, with those who are registering, there's a lot of questions and worries. You know, I know people who have registered online maybe in the last month or so, and we hear several deadlines. We're not sure what these deadlines are. So is online registration still open? Why is the wait time still as long as it is? And how long do people need to wait to collect? And where does the collection happen? Because there's a lot of conversations about not getting enough feedback from INEC with regards to collection times for those who are just newly registered to vote.
Well, I mean, just about a couple of weeks ago, the Commission came out with a statement that those registered between June last year and December last year, their PVCs were released just before Easter. Immediately after Easter, we started doing the people started collecting. In fact, on Wednesday, immediately after Easter, in Lagos State, where I oversee, where I did the symbolic presentation of those cards to those who came to collect in Koshofi and Show local government areas. And we have started in all the 20 local government areas in Lagos State to give out the PVCs.
Yeah, but this process seems very tedious because I know someone who moved from the Festac area to Surulere and tried to start the process of moving and said it was a little too cumbersome, and he has resigned to fate and said he's not really interested in voting.
He cannot afford to refer to fate.
How easy is this to move your polling booths? Let's talk within states now before we even go across states.
That's what I was about to say, that even if you want to move your polling booth from Lagos to Maiduguri or Calabar, it is the same thing as moving from Surulere to Yaba. So, I mean, even after Yaba...
Okay, so what does the process entail?
Well, if it's either you come physically to our office or if you go online. We have said it severally, you go online, cvr.inec.gov.ng. or you use cvr.inecnigeria.org. Any of those two, you can register online. Having done that, then you need to come to a place just to do the biometrics, which is to capture your finger tips and then the facial. Okay. Once that is done, then we'll give you a time, because like I said, those registered last year for 6 months, their PVCs are already out. And those registered between January this year and June 30, when the exercise is going to be concluded, they will be told when to come out for their own PVCs. We announced it in Lagos State that we have started the collection. We started last week Wednesday, immediately after Easter. So we have spent 1.5 weeks now in Lagos State for people to come and collect their PVCs. All the 20 local government areas, people have been coming. Even the old PVCs, in Lagos State, we still have over 1 million cards to be given out.
Still uncollected.
But you do know that we cannot get people to collect all this because, you know, there are so many higher institutions in Lagos State where students registered and they left before the PVCs came. Some maybe either company or government officers who are transferred. And then we also have people that have died or gone out of Nigeria. So we don't expect people to come and collect PVCs, but at least about 40% of them, we explain that people will still come and collect them. But the new PVCs have started arriving.
Yeah.
The exercise is still ongoing. It will end on the 30th of June this year.
Okay. One question about, you know, if your PVC is not ready by election day, are you still able to vote, even if you are now a registered voter but you don't have the card? You
cannot vote because definitely if your PVC will be the only guarantee that can vote in an election. But the Commission is doing everything possible to make sure that all those that have registered will get their PVC.
Or if you lose your PVC, for example, before election day.
It's part of the exercise we are doing now. Yeah. It's not just for those who are 18 years and above, but those who have lost their PVCs, those who PVCs are defaced, those who PVCs could not be used in the past election, who had some challenges here and there. We have had people that have been coming, complaining, and they are registering for me. We are registering them so that they can get new PVCs.
Okay. So let's talk about the electronic voting now, which a lot of people seem to be looking forward to and wondering how it's going to work. First off, people are wondering why are we jumping to electronic voting when it looks like with the registration itself, it seems like we've not still figured it out. Like you talked about people in higher institutions, for example. There's the constant question of why can I not register somewhere and vote somewhere else? Why is that such a big deal? Why can I not register in Lagos and say, okay, but I will be in Yobe on election day, so put me in as a Yobe registrant?
That's right.
Why is that still impossible?
If you are registering now and you know they're going to be in Yobe, then you should put Yobe as your point of collection. If that is done, you go and collect your business office in Yobe by the time you have to collect it, okay, so that you can vote there. But then about the issue of why are people not able to vote, that is the law. The law says...
Those who are going to do these registrations are being told constantly, you have to go to where you are going to vote to register. This is the first time any of us are hearing it.
No.
These are conversations that everybody has heard.
No,
where they say you have to go back to where you know you're going to vote to register.
You can register here, go and then collect your PVC in Calabar.
When did this start?
Since we started in June last year. People in Calabar can register to come and collect in Surulere here in Lagos. So we said this since last year.
So is that burden on you guys now? Because the belief by everybody is that you have to go back. Because people are saying, I can't do my PVC because I'm in school or I'm on holiday and I can't vote where I am.
Like students who are in UNILAG now, if they are voting and they know that they will be on holiday doing something, that they will be in a particular state. So when there is column there, the address they will give will be that state address, so that is where they will collect their PVCs. They will give the local government and so on. Their PVC will be directly at that local government office when the PVCs are ready. So that has been the way we have been operating for a long time, not just last year. We started a long time, more than 5 years ago.
No, that's not possible. I remember registering in 2019, and people were told specifically, register where you will vote. This has been your message.
That is the same thing. You
register where you will
vote. Can register here, but where you will vote.
So it means your communication in your organization is not doing their job, because honestly,
it is correct.
The conversation has been
it is you that are not getting it right. You can register here, collect in Ibadan, or collect in Akure, or any part of Nigeria. That has been the method of registration. It is only that you are registering here, but you are not voting in Lagos. So the forms you are going to fill will indicate all that. And when the forms, as we are doing that, it's also reflected in the portal in Abuja. So by the time they are printing, your PVC will be at that state, the address that you have given. That's why you collect your PVC. And that is why you're going to vote.
Let me go back to the election itself, because there seems to be a lot of conflicts with regards to what the Constitution says, what the party constitutions also say. Specifically now, because we're hearing stories about some people might be trying to move their primaries, you know, the dates of their primaries. What is the deadline of INEC for submission of party nominations? We want to get that clear with regards to when is the deadline.
The commission has said it severally. In fact,
Okay.
last week, there is another state press release came out again that by 12 midnight of 3rd June, that is when this thing is going to close. There are candidates that have emerged in a legally conducted primaries must be submitted to INEC
By the 3rd of June.
By 3rd of June this year.
For all parties across
all parties,
office.
all the 18 political parties
Okay.
that are fielding candidates for the coming elections.
For all positions, not just the presidency.
For the presidency.
For the presidency.
Yeah, for
What
the
are the
presidency.
deadlines for the others?
The other ones, they will take a little, I don't have the details now, but the governorship is still ahead because they are not, it's the governor presidential that will come first because it follows that the presidential election is coming first with the National Assembly election in February next year, and then by March you have governorship and state assembly election.
Okay. What are some of the rules with regards to, you know, qualification of candidates? Because I don't know if this is really INEC's position to say, but a lot of talk has come about, you know, certain candidates who are running and are still holding public office. Is that something that INEC considers when a nominee is presented, you know, as a nominee or as a candidate for a party?
Well, since the primaries have not been concluded, if primary is concluded and the candidate emerges that is still holding a particular office, and during the process, because we are still they are in court, so until that court judgment finally comes out, before we know where we are going.
Who is in court?
PDP has still gone to court, and then we are waiting for the appeal court because there was a judgment somewhere in the east about this issue of section 8412 of the new Electoral Act, which some people have also gone to court to challenge. So, and it's on appeal. So we believe the appeal will start any time from now. And once the judgment is given, those who are supposed to vacate their position before taking their forms, then they will know what happens to them next.
So it depends on the court judgment.
When the commission sees the judgment, it will take a position, it will meet, and then let people know it's a decision.
Okay, fair enough. This diaspora vote has always come up as a conversation, and I know that it's something that a lot of people are wondering, when are we ever going to get to that point, considering the huge number of diaspora Nigerians who we have who are very interested in Nigerian politics?
It's also a constitutional matter. So
the question, I get you, but I just want to know your position on it, considering the fact that we can give Nigerian passports internationally. Why is voters' cards such a big deal? Why do you think?
If the law is amended and the INEC has to do it, INEC definitely would do it.
Does INEC have the capacity? Because that's the question. Is it a capacity issue for INEC?
It is never a capacity issue. Even if you are to start electronic voting in Nigeria today, INEC will get people to be trained, and then you can do it. But if the law has not enabled INEC, there is no point for INEC to start wasting time on things that are not supported by law.
Yeah. So you are the INEC resident commissioner for Lagos State. Yes. What's in place with regards to elections in Lagos? I ask this because specifically for you now, considering the fact that across the country there's a lot of security fears, especially around elections. But the last year plus around the country has been particularly, you know, tense. And people are wondering how worse things can get when the elections proper come around. What's INEC's plans? There are people who are already saying they're not going to be around in Nigeria or come out at all if they're in Nigeria, leave their house, because they are worried already before the elections even commence. This is something that is seen as part of what you should be doing to sensitize people to understand that INEC has the capacity to keep people safe. What sort of plans are you making, especially for your Lagos State?
There are laws on what INEC should do. There are things that are also beyond INEC. But INEC has gone a little forward to ensure that those things that are not even within our capacity, that we try to also make sure that we get those who are in charge to also do what they need to do. And that is why there is this issue, the body called ISES. ISES means Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. That means where the chairman of INEC is also the chairman of that body, and the National Security Advisor is the co-chairman. And in every state of the Federation, the resident electoral commissioner is the chairman, and the commissioner of police, who is the lead agency in security for election, also is the co-chairman of that body in all the states. So since I came here on the 1st of March this year, I've been moving around, having gone around all the 20 local government areas to see things for myself. I've also started meeting the various stakeholders. have made the military, comprising of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Commissioner of Police, Immigration, Correctional Service. This week, I'm also continuing with customs and other agencies that are within that body. To also sensitize them to know that very soon we are going to inaugurate that body for Lagos State, preparing ourselves for the election. As we are doing that, we're also looking at the areas that are seen as flashpoints for us in previous elections. Right, security agencies are also doing the same thing. So by the time we now meet, we try to harmonize all these areas, and then for the security agencies to be able to take adequate precaution in those areas, particularly in Lagos State.
Well, how do you get this message across to people? Because I asked, are you satisfied with INEC's communication generally? Because there's a lot that's out there, and a lot of it is not officially from INEC. And a lot of your clarification don't even get across to people.
There is no time that I have met various groups, either political party leaders or even the press, since I came to Lagos, that we have not raised this issue of security, that ISS is doing a lot, even before the inauguration of the board, because all the agencies that have been met one by one, they also assured us of what they are doing. The military, even though they are also always at the back seat, because the military, they don't operate without their arms. And international convention does not allow arms to be brought near the polling unit. But they have roles during the election. But the Commissioner of Police, who is also going to be, who is the co-chairman of that body in Lagos State, who is also the lead agency in election security, is also doing a lot to ensure that all the areas that are mapped out as sensitive areas or flashpoints are also taken care of, to ensure that we do not have serious problems. And besides that, a lot of enlightenments are still going to take place beyond what we have done before. So let people know that you don't even need all this.
What are some of the flashpoints in Lagos? Because we noticed a lot of, I think there were parts of Amuwo, there were parts of, I think, Surulere, I'm not sure, where there were incidents.
Even Oshodi Sola as well.
So what are you doing differently in those places this time around?
That's what I'm saying, that we are meeting security agencies, and regularly the various electoral officers in the local government areas also meet with the body in their own respective areas. So help them also harmonize to ensure that their various jurisdictions are also safe for election.
Okay. How many registered voters do we have in Lagos now? How many new registrants have we had since the last election? And if you have the numbers.
177,639.
The new registrants.
177,000 as at Monday last week, when the figure came out from my contact. Okay. By tomorrow, we'll know the latest one.
So what's the total number now of registered voters in Lagos?
Well, you have to add that to what we had before, which was 6,570,291 that we used for the last 2019 general election. So in addition to that, we now have 177,639.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. But I think my biggest takeaway from this is that there's a lot of communication that still needs to happen. A lot of people seem to have so many questions and never know where to find the answers.
But the answers are
just call the website again so that people can know where to go to.
Okay, the website is inec.gov.ng or inec.nigeria.org.
So they go there, they can find how to register and all the information about the coming elections.
All the things they need, they will get on those areas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Resident Electoral Commissioner, and good luck with everything. We are looking forward to a great election season, and hopefully everything goes well.
Have we finished?
We're going to take a break now and be right back. Please stay with us.
We represent. What else? What else? Come on. Let's go. So let's dance now. It is my turn. Just want you. I am ready for your action. Just want you. You should cut off all distraction. It's all on you. And just give me some reaction. Just want you. Girl, I like the way you move. Really wanna get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's time for us to switch to some entertainment. I have some special guests here with me. If you are a fan of entertainment television, especially reality TV, you know the stars who are my guests here today, Toyin Lawani and Miriam Adeyemi. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
The Real Housewives of Lagos. You know, for those who don't know, you hear housewives and you think they just sit at home, but that's just the name of the show, because these are two powerhouses on their own. Toyin Lawani, let me start with you. You have, I can't list all your businesses, let's be honest. But interestingly for me, you've done a show before.
Yeah.
You know, what was the attraction to come back to reality TV. You know, a lot of people are scared of putting themselves out there on a platform like this where you know you get judged almost constantly. So what was the attraction for you?
For me, I think it was a challenge. I've done it before with Tiana's Empire. When I had Tiana's Empire, it was more of me and everything I had to do, and it gave me the room to, showcase my various businesses to show people that yes, you can do this as well and be a mom with all lots of customers and all. But with this one, I think is with me and a lot of other women, and I'm like, okay, why not? If not, it's something different, and I'm very real. I'm open. So, yeah, that's me. Apart from the fact that I feel, being real might cost you a lot. And it's always, most of the time, like, I don't want to say anything. I'm like, whatever. I'm just myself. Well, it was a challenge, and I like it.
You have been around. It's interesting. People said, oh, where did she come from? But those in the industry have known you for a very long time. I've known you for quite a while. But this is different from anything you've ever done, I want to believe. What made you want to jump on something like this?
Being a publicist, we've always worked behind the scenes. So when I got approached to join this show, it was challenging for me, I'm not gonna lie. Was I happy? Absolutely, because I've always been a huge fan of reality show and just never thought that I would be on a reality show. But I was excited and I like challenges. So this is something new to me and
An interesting thing about the Real Housewives, if I'm correct, knowing how the format works, is a lot of, as much as you're on the show, you're watching it as well for the first time with us.
Yes.
So you're seeing a lot of the diaries or what the other ladies think of you for the first time on the show. How hard is that to take for people maybe you think are friends or you thought something you did was not that deep and you find out how people take it?
It's very hard because that there'll just be moments where you just say things how it is. The next thing you're seeing and the person will smile in your face. The next thing you're seeing the person go to the diary. I'm like, yo, what happened to your balls? I said this in front of you. Why didn't you reply? Why did you have to go to your diary? So it's a shock to me, and that's new to me. Like I said, the one I had before was just me.
And you had more control of it.
Yes, but this one, at times you even see some things, and because it's a show with a lot of people, 6 women in particular, they can't show everything. They have to show some parts. So there's some parts that are not being showed to people, and at the end of the day, they'll get it. But with time, then they're judging. They're like, I'm like, is this Big Brother? What's going on? What's going on here?
We're just trying to have fun.
Can we all just be here and promote our businesses and have fun while we're doing it? Because that's why I went for the show. I'm like, you know what? Even Coca-Cola is still promoting themselves. Nobody's big enough. Even if you're big, you still need to promote yourself. And I felt, okay, this would be a good arena to mingle with people, see people from another light, mix with them, because what most people see on social media is not what it is. At times, we're just selling a brand. But when some people come to TV and you're watching them, it's a different
completely different light.
So you're like, wow, I thought this person was friendly. I thought this person was this way. I thought this person was that way. And you're seeing something else differently. So those diaries, I'm like, they are going to cry in their diaries.
There's sometimes where I would watch what I said, and I'll be like, did I say that? Miriam, you need to chill.
I watched your very first diary when you were introduced. I had to rewind about 4 times because you talked really. I was like,
I talk. If you can say, I'm trying as much as
to
possible
slow down.
To slow down.
It was great because it showed your personality, which is what she said.
That's how I talk. Do you understand? But people are like, Watch, and Twitter is crazy. Like people were like, "What's she saying? What's she saying? What's she?" And I'm like, but that's how I talk. Especially when I'm nervous, I go, and in my ears, everything is smooth. But people that know me, they can
they
tell.
Will get it.
They'll get it. But I'm glad I didn't filter anything during my introduction because people got to know.
Just from that introduction, we could tell who you were.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Twitter. I want to ask both of you. Let me start with you about social media, because that's something that nobody really prepares you for. Yeah. As much as you guys have been on social media for a while, you have had your fair share of drama from whatever reason. But this is different. This is not people having opinions on your personality, on your life. You know, you think you're prepared for it, but I have seen certain tweets already about the show, about you guys, and I'm wondering, okay, this is interesting. How are you taking it? Was it a shock to you? Is it surprising? Does it make you now look at the new episodes on Friday and you're wondering, what are they going to say this time?
For me, I would say, was I really shocked? Not really, because as a publicist, those are the things that we've dealt with clients. Yeah. Do you understand? Like reputation management, things like that. Our clients will respond to negative news, blogs, and everything. But when it happens to you, it's different. So when people started typing things about my introduction, I will not lie to you, this Friday one that passed, it took me probably like 5-6 hours before I watched it, because I'm like, should I watch
Should
it?
I play?
No. Should I play? No. Because what will I say now? Me and you and your mouth, you and your mouth. But for some reason, like, I played it, but was I prepared for some of the things that was said? Not really.
Yeah.
But am I okay with it? Yes, because everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's why you're on a reality show. You can't afford to filter people's opinion
On you. You've given them the freedom to have an opinion.
People will love you, people will like you. Everybody can like you at the same time. Everybody can hate you at the same time. But I think I've been lucky that a lot of people have gotten so many positive response.
Yeah.
I've probably like
More than the
98%. The remaining 92 is but you talk too much. My own is too much. My person, which I'm okay with, because that's still me.
Yeah.
But I've been lucky to be on that good side, So
Is it the same for you with social media?
No, it's not the same for me with social media. But a lot of people think I like drama. Then I really create these dramas by myself. I love controversies. Well, I'm different. My brain is wired differently, so I do things differently that makes people think, like, oh my God, don't forget you're a mom. I'm like, I remember I'm a mom, but I'm selling my brand. And when I read some comments, I just stop reading.
Yeah.
Because it will affect you. It will affect everything you stand for when you keep reading those comments. Just don't read. Just be yourself. Yeah. People that love you, that see you for who you are, will love you for who you are. If you keep reading, then you start, planning yourself. I'm not much of an actress. I am me. I'm not even planning to be somebody else. When you start calculating yourself, then you start holding back. The world might love you for who you are. There will always be the negative ones. Yeah. And the controversies just come. Like my intro, when I had my intro and people were like, oh, they asked me, what do people say about you that really hurt you? Those things used to hurt me so bad, and it made me stay away from social media. I'm only on social media to sell my businesses, to feed my kids. Literally. And I see people say those things about my brands, and I'm selling the brand. They don't even know me as a model, they're judging me. I'm like, okay, fine, this show is showing them more of who Toyin is. She's fun, she's friendly, she's all that. And that thing about my baby daddy is like, oh, I can have 3 baby daddies if I want, 4 baby daddies if I want. And that's the truth, because people want to judge you. People want to teach you how to live your life. People want to judge you for every mistake you've made. They don't want you to even heal from it and move on. Did anybody pray for them to keep moving from another husband to another? Did you know whether it was abuse? Did you know how humiliated I was? Because I don't come outside to cry to you people. I am very strong. I don't come outside to blame anybody. Even with everything I've gone through, you still see me with my baby daddy next day with my kids, laughing, hugging. It doesn't mean that we're okay. It just means I want my child to grow up smiling, seeing that happy parenting. It affects them, while growing. So I don't really care about those things. I just care about myself, my kids' happiness, and that's it for me. If you have something to say about me, it's your problem. Because the next day I'll do another one again. You want to kill me? I'll just keep doing things. Yeah. So far I'm happy. That's the most important thing. My kids are happy.
I want to talk about the pressure now, because I feel like for at least a decade I've heard about if Real Housewives come to Lagos, if Real Housewives comes to Lagos. This is a global franchise, right? Yeah. How did it feel knowing that you're going to be a part of something? Now there's the Nigerian pressure. Our own is different. We better be the best franchise, Did you feel that pressure going into the show, and knowing, okay, how much am I going to need to share? How much am I need to go to give for this show to be a hit? Because it can also get cancelled if it doesn't do well. So did you feel that pressure? To be sincere,
the production company, which is Live Sports, did an amazing job casting these ladies.
Yeah. It's an amazing mix. I would never have put you guys together.
Thank you.
It's a crazy mix.
And that's what you call why people are like, why would this person be with this person?
Yeah, it's a very interesting mix.
That's the point.
That's the vibe.
That's the vibe they are going for, because if they put all same friends together,
there's
even
no drama
friends
there.
fight on the show.
Yes.
The people you think you trust today, by the end of the show, they're not your friends. You can't trust anyone on the show, because everyone is for themselves on the show. Yeah. So for me, I feel like coming into this show and being the first one of its kind in Nigeria, when I tell you the pressure is high, even the moment our promo picture came out, the South African housewives, everyone was, oh my God, Nigeria. At a point, and we were still shooting at that point.
And you were already worried.
At a point, we were like, oh, what if we didn't do well? What if this?
Yeah.
So even when we see something, we say, okay, we don't like the way they did this, well, they can't really do anything about it, because the pressure is just a lot. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of these women are bringing out themselves to the world, not because they can't hide it. You can only fake it for so long. Yeah. Sooner or later, your true color will come out. People keep saying there's no drama in the beginning, but trust me, it's still coming. Because pregnancy, behavior is like pregnancy. You can't hide it.
You can't hide it for so long.
Sooner or later, it will come out. So still this bougie thing that you're saying.
It's about to switch up.
It's about to switch up.
Okay, so let me get into the meat of the matter now. Who has surprised you the most on the show? who did you think was a certain way but flipped interestingly for you so far?
I think it's Laura.
How so?
Because off the show, I've experienced Laura. We're quite close. And, when she came to the show, she was just, keeping to herself most times. And you will see on the show, I try to talk to her most times about it.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that was?
I think Laura has her own personality and she reacts to things differently. So nobody can judge how she reacted to things or why she was that way. But I found out a lot of things about everybody else on the show. Some people are competitive, some people pretend a lot, some people are straightforward, some people,
That's how would you describe me?
Bebelube. That's what you are.
That's not even a valid question because I'm already seeing people
You
saying,
already know.
Tiana and Miriam are a partnership. They're about to come and
Mariam
disrupt.
and I have similar traits. Mariam
But you guys are friends.
Yes, we've been
Exactly.
friends.
She was on my train,
Our
I was on her
wedding.
train.
My point
I
is
did
exactly.
all
So
of
there's
our
already
wedding.
belief
So
that
We were
we've
just
been
on
you
friends.
guys
social
are-
media
We've been
friends.
friends for
there's
over
friendship and there's
12,
social media
13
friends.
years.
We're just not
15
social
years. We've been
We're just
friends.
not social media friends.
Yes, we don't show our friendship public, but we've been friends way before even a lot of people on the show that people think I'm friends with. So, but I didn't let that cloud our judgment with anyone. I let Maya come into the show, meet everybody yourself, judge by yourself. Don't say because Tony has issues with this. No, we didn't do that. We just played it.
Even depending on the show, we were not really at the beginning. Yeah, we'll talk, but we're not like this. She was more closer to Laura, and I didn't care about that because at the end of the day,
I was not
she
closer
already
to
established
anybody.
She had
To
already
be honest,
established a relationship.
I wasn't close to anybody. I wanted to be friends with everybody, regardless of.
She doesn't agree with you.
That's what everybody said. Like everybody said, oh, she's more close to Laura. No, what everybody saw was me trying to get Laura into the scene to make sure she was okay with everyone. I'm a party popper. I'm someone that when I'm somewhere and there's a fight, I'm not comfortable. That's me. If my friends are fighting, I would love to get in between them, settle it. I hate people fighting. And I feel, okay, you know what? This group,
You are the opposite.
we can all...
You don't really care if people are fighting.
No, I do care, actually.
I
do
want
care,
things
but I
to
like
work.
like, see
I feel we are
things.
powerful
I
women
do
and
care.
we should use this platform very well.
Yeah, I do
not
care,
for
actually.
fighting. We
Yeah.
can all come together, show the world what we're made of. Do you know how powerful, if we all met together, how powerful we are? Rather than going on a show to cause drama 247.
Who's your least favorite housewife? Because I remember on the show you said you're a blunt talker, so don't disappoint us.
Who's my least favorite? Probably this happened from the beginning. It's still the end. So it's Caroline.
Why not? Why is that?
Our first vibe, like you saw on the last episode, wasn't great, but we were able to, like you see during the
You
show,
talked
but
about
at
that
the
handshake a lot.
end, at the end, it was just sour. She just left a sour taste in my mouth that I just can't
So we have
wash
to look
off.
forward to what this
But
Saturday
I'm
is.
sorry,
Is
you know.
it the same
mine
for
is
you?
also Caroline, but the truth is the cameras don't get to see
They
who
don't get to see
Caroline
a lot
is.
of things, yeah.
She's someone that will pinch you. She's an actress.
Yeah.
She knows how to act very well.
the question
And when
you
you react,
asked-
people think you're crazy. Like, Tony is crazy, Tony is mean,
The question
Tony
you
is this.
asked Tony
And I'm
saying
like,
that, which
gosh.
didn't you expect?
To flip.
For me, it was Caroline because
For me, it wasn't her because it's expected. I knew her.
You
way
did.
before
I didn't
all
know
of
you
this.
her. I didn't
I'm
know her
sorry.
before. I didn't know her before
So you
the
thought
show.
she
I
was
knew
what?
of her,
but
but
I
I
said-
didn't know her.
So what did you expect?
Our first impression wasn't good, but we were able to like go
Past it.
You know, but at the end of the day, she was nice to everyone, but I just think
She's a pretender. That's what
I
she
didn't
is.
see that coming. That's the point. Like when it happened, it was like. You know, like I'm like,
You know, there's some
Tiff
people
has
that knows
entered
how
into
to
the
comport
building
themselves
like
very
this.
well.
Which episode is this going to happen?
At the
Because-
We
end,
don't
you
know,
have
we
to
don't
wait,
know.
You don't know. You have to wait. You have to
And we
wait.
That's
never
why we're
said
looking
anything
forward to
happened,
that.
though. We're just saying.
No, she said she left a sour taste in
Yeah,
her
but the
mouth.
truth
Yeah,
is,
she
like I
left
said, a
it
lot of things happen off camera that the cameras don't get to see. So most times it's
most
your
of the
word
things
against
off
mine.
camera, do you understand?
Yeah.
So,
Most
you
of
know,
the
some
things
people are
off
so
camera.
good that when the camera just comes on, there's somebody else entirely, and I'm like, gagging, like, really?
With Tony and I, camera or no camera, we were playing, and just having fun.
Yeah.
But with some people, it's like, there's
They are
camera,
so
they're like, well, as long as
calculated.
Interesting.
So that's it, like you just can't tell who you're talking to. People with multiple personalities and
Yeah.
everything. But most of the castmates I like very much.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Most of the castmates we're all still
Who
cool.
are you surprisingly close to now that you didn't think you would vibe with?
Yabo.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I knew Yabo before the show, but we're not close. But getting to know her now during the show is like, okay, she's actually very cool like that. Like, I didn't think she and I were going to vibe like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
we're
well, I
birthday
know
mates.
you guys are, you have already said, you know, you don't want fights, you want to it's set to showcase.
Yeah,
That's what I'm there for. I have so many things to sell.
Oh, yes,
I have over 33
because
businesses.
the Real Housewives franchise
time
has
to
a
promote our
perception.
brands. Yes, it's not
has
just
a
about
perception,
drama. So I
yeah.
get what Tony is saying. It shouldn't be about drama every time. Promote your
It
brand.
shouldn't be about drama,
Throughout
but if you
the show.
step on me, you're going to get it. If you give me
Throughout the
bag,
show. Yeah,
that's
obviously there'll
it.
be drama because you can't put 6 different personalities together
And not
without,
expect some conflict at least.
you know.
There will be
But at
conflict.
the end of the day, do not forget that you're here for a reason. You're here to promote your brand. You're here to empower people. You know, for people to look back and say like, oh my God, that's my role model. Like, you're actually like...
Your role model have off week to fight.
Okay, I wonder where that's coming.
But you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, because
That
you have
was a
people
joke.
looking, not just your family, not just your kids, but you have people out there that will be like, okay, I want to be like this, you know, can you like mentor me? So that kind of things I'm looking at, like when you work, you can't be doing some things, I have some behaviors and expect some brands want to associate themselves with you.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to put up a good show, but at the end of the day, don't forget this show.
Mariam, one thing I've realized is people like drama.
I know, but
Ebuka.
don't forget this show
They
is not-
love drama.
this show is
At the
not
beginning,
scripted.
everybody
That's why I
was,
said-
everybody was like, there's no drama, there's no
Real
drama.
Housewives has a perception, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And people hear Real Housewives and
Real
start
Housewives
expecting to
is
see
still
you.
classy. It's not love and
There's
hip
some
hop.
people just
Love
want-
and hip hop
there's
is
some
the
drama that
distraction
is not
Unfortunately,
one.
people just
drama.
think that's what it should be.
Like
But I don't think
it's
so.
not like I cannot go all the
Decide
way
to go
out.
crazy,
It's
yeah.
just like I know once I go from a 0 to 1,000, there's no stopping. So I try to stop at probably like 500,
Oh,
just to keep it cute, you know.
Well, thank you very much. How can we find you on social media so they can follow
At
you?
Tiana's Place Empire or at the Unstoppable Tony Lawani.
Okay.
I'm Miriam Adeyemi Tima.
Thank you very much. The Real Housewives of Lagos airs on Showmax
Yeah,
every Friday.
Yes.
So please stream it, and it's actually
Every
very
Friday,
interesting.
7 a.m., don't forget.
I've watched every episode so far.
Really?
And,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, it's a great way to start my day.
you like
I'm
it?
I like it.
I'm
I
sure
like
before
it.
you-
I think
I'm sure
honestly,
it's on your iPad.
the mix of the Housewives was what attracted me. I just wanted
nice.
to see how the hell are these people going to,
They will
interact.
They'll
So
make
it's
it
very-
first. They will not like each other. They will not, you know.
yeah. Well done. And good luck with everything, man. I mean, the reception looks like it's been great.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
the
It's
trends
been
every
amazing.
time on
It's
social
been
media.
great. You know, a lot of people are getting to know me more. Like Tiana, I didn't know
Yeah.
she was this funny. Oh my God, that woman is crazy. She's shady. She's this.
Yeah.
She's that. Oh wow, I love what she's wearing. And
I
to
remember
be very honest, I'm
classmate
selling out.
said this
on
about you. A
clothes.
classmate, even in front of you, we were all like, she was like, this past, she was like, they didn't show that part. She was like, the way she, even though
No,
they are
it was
friends.
Laura, they said
was,
it.
yeah,
She
she
said it.
said even
They showed
though,
it.
they showed it.
Yeah, they
like
did.
even though she's friends with Toyin, but she used to think Toyin was this crazy ass
Yeah.
person, blah, blah, blah. And being
Around her.
around her is like, she's too calm. And I'm like, but that's Toyin.
That's
Yeah,
actually
but a
what
lot of
she is.
people don't know that. But the thing is, they see me standing up for myself all the time on social media
They
when
expect
trolls,
you to be-
when
They
trolls
expect
come
you to
for
be
me.
walking
And
madness
that's me.
every day.
If you come for me, I will do a crazy write-up. Then you will think, this girl is mad, but I'm not
All
like
right.
that.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, please watch the Real Housewives of Lagos on
Thank you
Showmax
for
every
having
Friday.
us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Miriam. And keep
you.
shining.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now and be right back. Please stay with us.
We represent. What else? What else? Come on, come on, come on. Let's go.
So let's dance now. It is my turn. Just want what you are. I am ready for your action. Just want what you are. You should cut off all distraction. It's all on you now. And just give me some reaction. Just want what you girl, I like the way you move. Really wanna get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Press Freedom Day. Just a quick statistic. Nigeria has been ranked 120 out of 180 countries in the 2021 World Press Freedom Index, compiled by Reporters Without Borders. I'm joined here by Funke Treasure, who's a journalist. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks very much, Ebuka.
Is that a statistic that we should be excited about? You know, we hear that, this is a safe place. Government continues to talk about the fact that journalists are safe in Nigeria. You don't hear what's happening in like war-torn countries where journalists are killed or in countries where there's dictatorships. Are journalists, is 120 out of 180 countries a fair analysis of Nigeria's situation today?
Is it fair? I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's fair on the Nigerian journalist. I think it's a poor rating for us, and I think we can do better.
Okay.
Given that this is a democracy, and Naturally, a democracy should give you freedom of expression, the people freedom of expression, and then by extension, the media, the latitude to report, to publish without control, without restrictions, and without censorship.
Is this ever going to be a thing, though? Because as much as, you know, a lot of things have changed with democracy, the Freedom of Information Bill became an act and is now law and all of that. There's the constant talk about the military hangover, you know, where we had so many years where being a journalist was literally like a dangerous job. And government sort of psyche continues to go that way where, you know, there's certain things press cannot just say. Is the military hangover still a problem with regards to how journalists operate?
I think it's still...
what can we do differently about that?
I think it's still a problem because what we've seen is a removal of one gap for the other. We've found military rulers back in civilian clothing, and really, if we're jettisoning with immediate alacrity, which used to be the phrase, then everything was with immediate alacrity. And when you see a change of garments, it doesn't necessarily mean a change of style or a change of structure or, you know, or mode of operation. So that's on one side. On the other side, it's just unfortunate that this is the same Nigeria in the past, which was a beacon of hope in the African continent in terms of intervention in other countries. I mean, look at what we did with South Africa in the time of apartheid, and so on and so forth. And look at how we have worked with eminent journalists in the past. I mean, we're talking of Tribune, we're talking of Iwe Royin back in the days, we're talking of a crop of formidable, credible journalists, people like Oshoba in his days as a journalist, in the days of Sketch, you know, Punch and all of those titles. And then again, the broadcast journalism sector as well. You find people who covered war. We were not...
gagged.
We were not gagged. We enjoyed our work. We were thrilled by the prospect of reporting what's going on and holding government accountable. I mean, we've come a long way from the Decree 4 of yesteryears, but then we got cornered by poverty. So poverty has been so weaponized in our society such that when you do not effectively remunerate people for the work they do, then they begin to have...
Look for ways.
Yeah, you know, look for alternative ways to make ends meet. The media is a reflection of the society. It's a reflection of the Nigeria of today. So you cannot remove media men, media professionals from the economy. From the economy and the society in which they operate.
Yes.
So that's another one.
Yeah, because that's one of the accusations or allegations that, you know, journalists today continue to have, you know, led against them, where it's like, oh, reporting now is no longer about what's real. It's about who's paying the most. And I think that's one toga that the Nigerian journalist continues to carry. But also from governments, you know, especially with this administration, we've heard a lot of allegations about how the media is the reason why so many things have become the way they are. They say the media sometimes is biased, or you've reflected Nigeria a certain way that investment is no longer coming in. Do you think these allegations are fair? Because to be fair, the media is the voice of the nation sometimes. Have you demarketed Nigeria, you think?
The media is an independent monitor of power. We ought to report the successes and the failures. Apart from holding the government accountable, we tell it as it is. We tell the facts. We verify the truth, journalistic truth. And if, for instance, airlines are saying, look, aviation fuel is this high, we can't afford it, and we're going to down tools, and then we report that. That's not demarketing Nigeria.
Sorry, we're joined now via Zoom by the editor of Premium Times, Nicholas Ebuka. I just want to get his perspective on this. Thanks a lot for joining us, Nicholas. A lot of what she said, I know you've heard them, you know, about the reputation of journalism here in Nigeria and how, you know, that has probably affected the way journalists work in this part of the world. How are we going to get out of this, especially with what she said about weaponizing poverty and how it affects the job of journalists?
I mean, thanks for having me, Ebuka. But how are we going to get away from weaponizing? See, talking about press freedom, and what I used to say is that the media is not just free because they are allowed to write whatever they want to write. It is like in Nigeria, you can write whatever you want to write, but it is what happens after you have written what you've published your piece that matters. So weaponizing poverty in the sense that the Nigerian media basically is not properly financed. We don't see a lot of investors come into the media because the media has to be independent. But if you look at the Nigerian media today, you'll find that most of the media houses are either owned or affiliated to politicians. So when you are owned or affiliated to a politician or to a corporate executive, there is so much you can. I mean, there's a limit to what you can do as an independent media. Because do you want to write? I mean, somebody once told me that if he owns a newspaper, there's no way that newspaper is going to write anything critical about him because he's the one who pays the salary. So when you have such a mindset, and honestly, you cannot blame the person because that's where they're coming from. So the media has to be independent. Look at Nigeria today. When last did you hear anybody investing in a media startup, proper investing? I mean, the Nigerian newspaper has basically been financed or run by grants from foreign organizations. But you find out that these grants are not enough. If you really want to have a very free media, we need to have people who want to put money in the media and who want to stay back and say, I'm putting my money here. This is a business. I want to see you run, do your thing, do what you should do. For instance, if you open a shop where pastries are made and you put money in that, you don't go back and say, oh, okay, you're making pastry, but today I want you guys to start doing something away from food or start doing something different totally away from making food. It's going to be strange because the people you have hired are chefs and they probably don't know how to be mechanic or how to fix cars or something. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I mean, I just realized we've run out of time, but I mean, we have to continue this conversation some other time because this is a very important conversation to have. I am worried because I hear a lot of talk about, journalism is under threat, especially print journalism, which has always been the beacon of hope for a lot of people. And maybe we'll have to get you back so that we can have an extensive conversation on how the future of the media in Nigeria looks. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Thank you very much, Funke Treasure, for being here today.
Thank you.
But like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media, on Twitter. Please use the hashtag Rubbin'Minds when you send us a message. I'll see you next Sunday.
What else?